I just recorded like a 10-minute speech. I'm not sure what's going on. It says, I checked on the back of the screen, it says unable to view. But anyway, I just left Meadow, Utah, got some cheap diesel, relatively at 364, got 133 gallons, so I saved 50 bucks. And the sun is just coming up at 7:23 local time, so 4.5 hours to Las Vegas to load the Volvo 380 EL. So that's the view from my office window today. Pilot is somewhere there, but to get to it you have to go around some crazy huge roundabout with some 20 exits and 50 exits. I mean 50 entrances. So I stopped here because I needed to send some documents. You know, I did my application for the new load board yesterday. Filled out the application, sent her my credit card, and then I started driving, and this morning I got an email, you forgot to attach the documents. Like, son Semyon Semyonovich, you know, son of a gun. And of course now it's already 1:45 in Ontario, but it's 11:15 over here. And I stopped, I started my S21, the hotspot. The reception is excellent over here. Found the documents she wanted, and she wanted ownership of the truck, which is title in American, and then my business license. Well, because she was asking for articles of incorporation, because I'm a sole proprietor, so I have a business license. Still active. I'm gonna have to renew it next year. And then she wanted my CVOR, commercial vehicle operator registration, which is kind of like MC but for Ontario, because they're based in Canada, right? And the last one she wanted was insurance certificate showing her company as certificate holder. And I used to email my insurance broker for that, but now I learned that I can do it myself online. I just log into my insurance broker website, and right there at the top it says issue certificate of insurance. You know, and of course everybody wants, when they're asking for you for proof, 9 cases out of 10, like brokers, they don't want just a basic generic certificate of insurance. They want to see the company and the address there at the bottom left, where it says certificate holder. I'm guessing this gives them some extra protection. So anyway, I did that, and I thought, okay, so now I want to walk to the pilot. But it looks so far, like I have no idea. I think it may be like 300 meters over there, because you have to go back and then under the overpass. And there's a big sign that says no pedestrians. Of course, I'm on the ramp to southbound I-15. But I started walking, and I see that little gem over there. Chevron, Taco Time, Subway. So I managed to cross those 50 lanes of traffic without getting killed. And I got me some snacks. Check this out. So we have some salted mixed nuts, and I did get a coffee, but that's gonna be my only coffee for the day. So I got 2 of these, and then as I was at the register, I saw they have more goodies right under the counter. And when something says survival snack mix, you cannot mix that. Survival snack mix. And I said, okay, I'm gonna take this because I need this. This is the survival item, okay? And the last news is that I was trying to conserve my battery on this stupid GoPro. Like, honest to God, I was talking to him for maybe 15 minutes because I had some cool encounters with the wild animals at the last truck stop in Meadow, Utah. Well, actually it was just one horse, and I fed her some apples. It was really cool. And I was talking for 15 minutes, then I shut down the GoPro and I decided to see, because it gave me like one beep. You know, when you press the top button, it's supposed to give you like a couple of beeps. That means it's that quick action thing stops, and it stops recording and it shuts down. This thing just gave me like one beep, and I try to see, you know, I can watch on the back, right, to see if the video was recorded. It says error, cannot play the video. So who I was talking to for 15 minutes, I have no idea. So my communication probably somewhere in the space, and now aliens are enjoying it. So, but since now I'm not loading today, that's the big news. Man, it's hot. It's like 21C, I don't know, 75, 77F. And I'm in Prince George. Check this out. So that's Arizona. That's the border with Arizona. So I'm here in Utah, 4 miles. This was exit 4 miles away from Arizona, and you see this? That's not good. And Google says unusually heavy traffic on your route. So I know this is very cool, but I already did a video about this. This is some canyons here, mountains. Once I did a video, I think I recorded the entire thing from Arizona border to Nevada border over here. And I see another bad area here, plus 12 minutes, probably construction. Oh, check this out. The guy just did a U-turn, so he probably got confused as well. But you see, driveway, and you can U-turn on this 4-lane road. I cannot do that, and that's why I stopped here, because I was afraid I would get stuck there with my Stinger. I need a lot of space. And so I talked to the towing place where I'm supposed to pick up the excavator, and I said, guys, I'm a couple of hours away, so what do you say? Is it gonna be ready today? And he says, well, we had some issues with the paint. We did some painting on the weekend, and we put some paper in some spots, so we came this morning and the paper got stuck, so now we have to repaint. And I said, well, no big deal. I knew this would happen, because he told me that when I talked to him on Friday, he says, well, it's not going to be ready until Monday or Tuesday, because they were still painting, right? And so now he says, yeah, well, we're having some issues, so it might be ready probably end of the day today. And I said, you know what? I already feel tired because I had to get up so early, and I'm still 2 hours away. I said, let's load tomorrow morning, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be ready today. Like, when they do this, when they're painting at the last minute, you know that it's not going to happen. And so now my next stop, final stop for the day, is going to be the big Petro truck stop in Las Vegas. And it's cool that I'm there early, because they run out of spaces pretty fast, especially like lawn spaces where you can pull straight in. And this is really cool, because I was driving and I was a bit worried about my tires, because I'm pretty sure they didn't give me 125 on the trailer, where they were changing those 3 or 4 tires in Red Deer. And also they were working on the drive tires, and when I tried to check the pressure, I couldn't get in, because the valve was at the top, in the top position, and you cannot just reach it from the outside. You have to reach from between the tires, and it was basically, you have to move the truck. And so since now I'm not loading until tomorrow, I want to check my tires first thing in the morning, you know, when they're cold, because there's no use checking the tires in the evening after you drive, right? Because they're gonna be hot, and then when they cool down, the pressure will be down. And so now I know these guys should be open like 24/7, so I'm gonna get up probably like at 5 o'clock tomorrow, or 6 or whatever, because in Las Vegas I'm going back 1 hour, so I'm gonna be on Pacific time. I said before Mountain time. No, I'm on Mountain time now. I'll be on Pacific time, so 3 hours back compared to Ontario. And so for me, I feel 2 hours I'm already used to. Actually, I'm used to 2 hours, but for some reason this morning I wake up at 4:30 and I cannot sleep, because 4:30 Mountain time, that's 6:30 my time. but I went to bed at 9. Yeah, that was 11. You see, I'm still on my time, even though I've been here like a couple of weeks. But I'm leaning towards mountain time, 2 hours. But 3 hours, so when I'm there 5 o'clock Las Vegas time, that's like 6 mountain time. That's nothing. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I want to get up early in case there's a waiting line there at the shop. And I'm gonna tell them to check all my 32 tires, and we'll go from there. So I just went through a port of entry. Right at the, before you hit Arizona, there's an inspection station. And it started flashing as soon as they saw my black Terminator, probably on their monitors, that started flashing. And I can guess what the conversation was going inside. It was going like this: wait, is that Captain Sergei? Man, I love his videos. Let him pull him over. I just want to look at his truck. And so they pull me over, and there's 2 lanes, one for the inspection, one just bypass, but it still has a scale. And it says 10 miles per hour. Basically, you don't have to stop, you know, like most places you have to stop before going on this. There's a stop sign before going in the scale, but this one, it's more advanced, it seems, and it says proceed slow, 10 miles per hour, proceed slow, and it's all flashing, like very futuristic, like, you know. And so I guess they had a good look at my truck, and after the scale I look at the lights. I see it can say back up, park, bring paperwork. And those fields stayed black. It just says proceed, 10 miles per hour. So I left. Now here, I do want to show you this pouring stretch in Arizona, because there's not much to see. But one of the best part of my job is taking part in construction. You know, you really gotta appreciate the efforts of construction workers, and in order for people to appreciate the hardship of their job and to think about safety, you have to sit in these traffic jams, right? And so while I was still in Utah, there were signs all over the place saying that no oversized loads on I-15 in Arizona. Construction. And then everybody slowed down for some reason as soon as we crossed the line between Utah and Arizona. And again, there's signs saying expect delays. 18 miles away, there's a road work, 1 lane closed. 18 miles away, and Google Maps was showing red, basically slow traffic. But now we're moving until the next issue, probably. But of course I'm kidding about the boring landscape. I love this kind of stuff. That's what I meant when I said that when you go through Arizona, you go through these cool canyons, and you know, mountains are really close to the road. Like I said, once I did a whole video about this, the entire trip, and then I just speeded up. I think it was, yeah, I spent a few days in Prince George. I think I delivered somewhere around here once. And then I took this road again to get to Las Vegas. I think I was loading at the trade show over there. Maybe it was that drill rig, the big drill rig I took to Alberta. But look at this. There's a river at the bottom there. This is great, because most of the times, right, these mountains, they're far away, you don't have many places like this. I can tell you as a professional trucking traveler. Like Colorado has lots of bad spots like this, you know. Not because it's a bit scary, like not now of course, but imagine in winter. Everything is covered in snow and ice. You have to use chains, which I only used once in my life. And then to add excitement, every half a mile they put the signs kind of like avalanche zone. And so you're driving and your pants are getting tight because you keep looking at this mountain over here to see if avalanche will roll down. And so you keep your GoPro on at all times. So and I went through a couple of bad spots in Utah actually. It's a good thing that it's still warm. Now it's plus 26 Celsius. But there were a couple of really steep hills over there, and there was a sign says, you know, place for chaining. I think it was 2 mountains like that. Kind of like this one going that way. You see everybody has flashing lights. But I love this terrain, you know. I love this kind of like desert tundra with all these cactuses or whatever. Lack of animal life, you know, it looks exciting. Everything is burned. You know, the ground is burned by the sun. It gets so hot here in the summer, right? And we are passing exit 18, Virgin River Canyon. And if you're new to this channel or to North America travel topic, then exit 18 means that we are 18 miles away from the next state, because now the numbers will go down. There's a couple of states where the numbers go up actually as you go towards the next state. Like you go south, but the numbers go up. Like you go north here, the numbers increase. You go south, they decrease. And then when you hit 0, there will be the next state, which is Nevada, right? But most of you already know that. I just thought I would point this out. But exceptions only prove the rule, right? New York. I love New York upstate, but I wish those guys would do away with this 17th century practice of arbitrary naming exits. Exit 5. All right, why is it exit 5? Oh, well, because it's 100 miles from exit 0. How do you figure? Well, it's 20 miles between each exit. So wouldn't it be easier to name exits after mile markers? Well, it never occurred to us that what, you can do it? You can do that? No, we've been doing things like this since the end of 16th century. So exit 6 is exactly 20 miles after exit 5, and exit 5 is 20 miles after exit 4. What's wrong with that? Well, yeah, but if you were using mile markers, then you can tell 5 miles, 10 miles, right? You're 5 miles from somewhere, or you're 3 miles from somewhere looking at the mile marker, whereas here it's all 20 miles, like roughly, right? I don't like that. That's confusing. But I think there's New York. I think there's one more state crazy like that. Yeah, I went into the store. The sales guy is wearing a mask I put my mask on. Everybody looks at me funny. Nobody wears masks except the clerk behind the counter. And people get scared, you know, like a girl walks around the aisle. I'm looking at these nut snacks on this side, and she was looking at some Pepsi and Coke, you know, or as we say in Russian, Piska Cola. So she was looking at some Piska Cola, and then she turns around and she sees me in the mask, and she's like, man. So I think she thought I was a ghost, but you know, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. It's a bit early for ghosts. Yeah, there's a river down there. I think I see a body floating, but I don't have time to stop. All right, Jake brake, position 2. Now these are some sharp turns, but man, I love this. As a Capricorn, you know, as a Capricorn, I'm supposed to live in an area like this. I love these little horoscopes that tell you what you're supposed to eat, whom you're supposed to marry, what job you're supposed to pick, depending on your sign. You know, they make things so easy. No, but funny enough, that booklet I read many years ago, you know, for all signs, and it's basically your lifestyle, your job. It's actually pretty interesting. He was saying Capricorns should try to minimize or avoid coffee because they have weak bones and weak teeth, and they don't have enough calcium in the body. And coffee affects me pretty bad, you know. And then they were talking about jobs, and I still remember it says Capricorns, they like to be creative, so they want to be that, but they don't want to be like a composer or actor, but they want to do like a logistics around the actor or composer, you know, let's say administrator or agent, arranging concerts, you know, like a promoter. And I love stuff like that. Or one more big area, they say Capricorns, you will find many Capricorns in shipping. They like dealing with big items, you know. But of course, I don't think Capricorns are supposed to be truck drivers. They're supposed to be, you know, like brokers, freight forwarders, because again, the same booklet said light physical work is okay, but mostly Capricorns try to avoid heavy manual labor. No, I'm telling you, I don't remember if it was in English. I think it was in English. I think I went to Chapters back in the day here, you know, when everybody was using Chapters as a free library. You just go there, there's Starbucks inside, and there's chairs everywhere, very comfy chairs. So you grab your coffee and you go get a stack of books that you want to read, but you don't want to buy. And then you sit in the chair for 3 hours, you sip your coffee and you read your books. You know, and that was making the clerks so angry because nobody was buying anything. But the worst thing of all, people were not returning the books to the shelves. You know, I think that's just being an a-hole, you know. I always try put them back, you know, but sometimes it's hard to find the perfect spot where it was, but then you look at the alphabet, right? And that's why some of these stores just go bankrupt because nobody buys anything anymore. Because you can buy it on Amazon 2 times cheaper, but then over here you can drink coffee, you can look at cute girls, and you have like millions of books in the same place, physical books you can touch, right? And I think but this one I think I bought because I found it so accurate, you know. But if you think about it, I do believe in this stuff. I believe in astrology, I believe in numerology. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the moon causes water movements on Earth, right? The moon causes tides, and solar energy can cause tsunamis or storms, right? So since the human body is about 80-90% of water, it makes sense that all these planets, they can affect us. And so if you were born on a certain day, on a certain time, at a certain time, when planets were in a particular configuration, I believe in this, that this might affect your you know, your psychology, your human body. Again, because we see how moon, which is like thousands of miles away, still affects our water over here, affects our oceans, affects our rivers. So it's interesting. Just pick up a horoscope, pick up a book like that, but it has to be like a nice book, like a detailed book, you know, where they give you all this advice on jobs, marriage, you know, lifestyle, food. I think it's entertaining, you know. All right, brake check. I think it's somewhere here. Left lane closed ahead. Oh yeah, here we go. It shows Google Maps shows Amber, exit 9 miles to Nevada. Yeah, somebody was asking me to stop and look at the Silver River Canyon in Wyoming. That request is denied because I'm going on I-15 through Arizona, Utah, Arizona. Like, I'm nowhere near Wyoming. And on the way back, I looked up my remember I did a trip, like I think I was some older guys, I mean older fans, people that have been watching my channel for a long time, they will remember that epic trip where I went to Las Vegas to pick up a big drill rig, and it was so heavy that I had to change the trailer again from 3+1 to 2+2, and those guys were not happy. I think it was my second or third trip after I fixed the Stinger or something like that. But anyway, it was that big drill rig in Las Vegas where the guy was shipping it from, actually he was trying to find somebody to bring it from California all the way to Mississauga, Ontario. And I cannot go into California because my Stinger is Eastern Coast style, not Western Coast. Like, you cannot take a Stinger like mine into California, because on my Stinger I can adjust the air, I can adjust the pressure, right? That's what I learned about West Coast trailers. You cannot have any hydraulics on the Stinger, you cannot have any air, huge airbags like what I have, right? You just hook it up under the trailer like this, and it just uses the same ride height system like the average trailer, and so it's supposed to just spread the weight automatically. So that's West Coast. And so all these Stingers they use over there, they're just rigid Stingers. There's no hydraulics, no air assist like on mine, like I said, right? And so I don't want to go there, and each time I go I get a ticket for something. Cops there are, I don't like going into California. Let's not get personal with cops, but and my truck is not, I don't have the inspection, California inspection. Like before you order the permit, you have to bring your truck for an inspection to an authorized shop, and that can take a couple of weeks. But I know my truck will pass it because it's a modern truck. It's not 1999, right? I have emissions equipment. I didn't change anything. I'm not one of those Alberta guys where they just delete everything, right? I'm pretty sure that's what they're inspecting for, because California has that clean air, let's go crazy act. And so they want everybody to contribute to the clean air. But I don't have that, right? Like I said, I don't like going there. It's too far. It's 3,000 miles from Ontario. Like if I was from Alberta, maybe I would go there. Oh, you see that junction 93? That's what I'm taking back. And And so that trip, I still remember, I got proactive and I emailed the guy and I said, hey, I cannot go into California, but if you find somebody to bring it to Las Vegas, I can just, you know, jump over to Las Vegas and bring it to Canada. And he said, let me think of that, on that. And so he found this local company. They brought it over, and I went there and I loaded, and I still remember they said, we think it's more like 120,000 pounds instead of what he told me, 110. And so they started taking some parts off, and it ended up being 115. And because it's so heavy, I know, you know, a lot of states, they charge you when they determine the price of the permit, they charge you based on the weight, like how much over you are over the legal limit of 80,000 pounds, and then times the miles. So it can get expensive pretty fast. And so I did a simulation on my website where I can guesstimate the cost of permits and pilots, right? And I was dragging that route line this way and that way, because then the software right away it recalculates. You know, let's say you go this way, it says, okay, permits and escorts will cost you, let's say, I don't know, $2,000. If you go this way, it becomes $4,000, because each state is different. So one state is cheaper, like for example, Nevada. I found my old permit for that particular drill rig, 115,000 pounds. Nevada charged me, I think it was 28 bucks. 28 bucks. And I went all the way from Las Vegas. I went I-15 to 93, and then all the way north on 93 till I hit Idaho. And that, my friends, was cheaper than following the regular route, like I-15 into Utah, and then north, and then east on 80 or 90, whatever, right? Like I said, I played with that. I love that. Like, you can drag, you click on the route, on the line that represents the route, and you can drag it left and right, and then you click recalculate, and it gives you the new cost of permits. Like, I love that website. It's not always accurate. They underestimate the cost of permits. Like, it says, okay, let's say I know for a fact I will need a pilot in Idaho, because I'm taking 93, which means that I'm gonna enter Idaho on 93, US 93, and Idaho requires pilots on 2-lane roads with these loads. I think it's because of the length, and I'm gonna be 12 feet wide, and so that distance over there, I think is like 50 miles. And if you go to my permit website, it'll say something crazy like $100. You know, they just calculate the cost of pilots by the mile. Or like, I remember one state, it was 20 miles. You only need the pilot for 20 miles, and it says $28 cost of pilot. Oh, really? Like, pilots don't charge like that. They charge you, if it's a short distance, they're still gonna charge you a day fee. Like the cheapest I paid, actually, to one of those guys over there, I have to find them again. I have a website where all these guys advertise, so I'll have to, while I'm waiting for my permits, tomorrow, or maybe today even. No, but I don't know yet when when I'll be entering Idaho. Last time with that machine, I think I waited like 4 days for that. Nevada was issued right away, but Idaho took a long time. But I was asking for over 200,000 gross, because that thing was really, really heavy. Like, now the excavator is only 95,000 pounds. So I'm asking for, as if the machine is 114 plus my empty weight of 74. So I think I'm asking for like 186 gross. So that should be easier to get and cheaper. And so yeah, that's why how I choose the road, how I choose the route. I look at the cost. I'm telling you, that's like unbelievably useful. So I do pay 40 bucks for this top secret website. And like I said, they're not always accurate. But it gives you a baseline, right? It gives you something to start, as we say in Russian, от чего танцевать. It gives you a point you can dance from, right? That's the literal translation of that phrase. And so yeah, that's what's happening. And I'm only 117 kilometers from the Petro truck stop. And like I said, yeah, I'm really happy that it's not ready today, because I couldn't find any truck stop where I could check my tires in the morning when they're cold. And I'm pretty sure Petro has a big shop, because I think I did like oil change in there a couple of times. The next thing I mentioned in the previous video, why I see like more trailer here than less trailer. I agree with people that said that you should not trust mirrors, because the mirrors are totally different. They're in a different spot. You look at them at different angle. But I did climb under the trailer, and I took a closer look at the, you know, those paws, right? Like I have a bar. The bar is on the trailer, and then my neck has these kind of like things, right? And so they go under the bar, under the big horizontal bar, and that's how they lift it. And so that trailer sits inside this, I call them claw or paw or something, right? Like a hand. And so I look at where the edge of the neck was compared to that. Like I found a couple of spots like that I can use as a reference, and I saw that the trailer was a little bit off, like the way it was connected. It was just, I don't know, maybe 1/3 of an inch or half an inch closer to one side, and I think that's what's causing it. Because, you know, it's not exactly super tight clearance when you go to hook up. You know, there's a little of free play in there. You can be a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and plus add that effect of the mirrors, where mirrors are in a different spot, right? And so that what gives you, so everything is fine. Basically nothing is dog tracking or cat walking or tiger jumping on the trailer. So everything is cool, everything is copacetic. And look at my fuel restriction. For some, that stuff always happens. Before it was 3, even though I just did oil change and I changed the filter. Okay, 464. 464. I'm just writing down quickly my mileage. And we're in Nevada. Hello, Nevada. I like this state too. So Montana is #1 for Captain Sergei. Nevada is cool. And Colorado, they say, is great for well, I don't want to say older people, but for people with active lifestyle, because there's so much to do there. But those mountains are a little bit intimidating. And as soon as you enter Nevada, check this out. You see palm trees right away. So when I see palm trees, I know, and it's October, I know I'm headed in the right direction. I love coming here in winter. I think once I was here in January. Man, I was so happy because I look, my phone was still showing temperature back home in Cambridge, Ontario, until I finally switched it because it was so depressing. It would say like -25 Celsius, you know. And over here was, I think, my birthday, January 10th. Now write this down. January 10th, I expect lots of presents, okay? So my birthday, I stopped at a truck stop and it was like okay, in the morning it's a bit cool, right? But in the middle of the day, I think it was like +15, I don't know, 65 degrees, you know. Man, But summers, yeah, summers are brutal, you know. I think ideally you want to have two homes. You know, you want to have one home for the winter, somewhere in a place like this, and then you want to have one home for the summer, and Canada would be a perfect country for that. Or the very north part of US, you know, like North Dakota, South Dakota, Washington State. No, Washington's not too, there's an ocean there. Idaho, like northern Idaho, northern Wyoming. So that's where you want to go for the summer. But winter, this is the place. Or I like Arizona. I like Arizona. Always make sure I have at least one of those burritos, 5 pounds weight, like this diameter. North. That's what I'll be taking tomorrow after I'm loaded. It's going that way. There's a Love's truck stop here now, but doesn't look too big. I see trucks in the waiting line in front of pumps. Yeah, for me that would not be a good truck stop, because actually, wait a second, they have a dirt yard in there where people are parked like this in a straight line. Okay, but I don't know if that's the property of the truck stop, or maybe it's someone else's property. You know, sometimes what you see, like there's some kind of abandoned property or something that somebody's trying to sell, and it would be adjoined to the truck stop. Like they have this crazy stuff in Cheektowaga, New York, which is a suburb of Buffalo, pretty much Buffalo. And there's a Jim's Truck Plaza over there, and right next to the Jim's Truck Plaza there used to be some big store. So they already tore it down, but the area immediately before you enter into the truck stop, it looks like part of the truck stop, but then the guys that bought that property, they started putting up signs everywhere. Private property, no parking. Private property, no parking. And I was not sure what was going on. And once I stopped there for like 5 minutes, and some guy in a pickup truck showed up right away. Oh, you cannot stop here. And who the heck are you? Well, I represent the company that owns this property. Like there's no fence, right? There's no fence. You have to go through that property to enter the truck stop. But you cannot park there. But of course everybody does. So they have to put up a fence or use some, you know, concrete blocks, right? And that particular truck stop, Jim's Truck Plaza, is super hostile to truckers. Like you see signs like, if you leave, take your truck with you. So they should just do a graffiti, you know, like custom graffiti in 3-foot letters. We don't want you here. But quite often they have good price on diesel in there. And so if I have a oversized load, I go in there, but I cannot go with the Jeep. I won't be able to turn around, and backing from an angle, it's very difficult with the Jeep and the Stinger. But when I had just, you know, like an 8-axle load, I would just back into a spot and then go fill up at the pumps and go back. Yeah, there's a lot of truck stops, unfortunately, like that, you know, where maybe I'm guessing they so fed up with bad truckers, you know, people that leave garbage and plastic bottles filled with urine everywhere. But they do have a cool restaurant right next door to that Jim's Truck Plaza in Cheektowaga, New York. Pretty decent food. Alright, now why I started the camera is because I wanted to show you that 93, Highway 93. And now we're only 10 clicks away from my truck stop, or rather from my turn. And the truck stop is 11 clicks away. So basically I'm like 10 miles from the truck stop where I'll be sitting. 10 miles to exit for US 93 North. But I'll be loading closer to the downtown. I'll check the distance to make sure, because I want to be there first thing in the morning, because you never know how long these things will take. Usually it takes me like 3-4 hours to load something big where, I don't know, I have to put a lot of chains, so it's 95,000 pounds. Oh, and I have to, of course, I have to unload the Jeep, drop the trailer, you know, hook to the Jeep, then hook back with the Jeep back to the trailer. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my neck off. I'm gonna use the timber I have on the deck for this, and I can use that timber as a support for the long neck. And I can just disconnect, and so the front of the trailer will be open. So then I'm gonna load the excavator. This way it's easier. And then I'm gonna reattach the neck, disconnect the truck from the neck, go hook up the Jeep, and then back with the Jeep to the neck. Because another way to do this would be to just drop the trailer empty, right? And then hook to the Jeep, and then hook with the Jeep to the neck, and then disconnect, so drag the neck away on top of the Jeep. But what's wrong about that picture is that it's not easy rehooking. When you have your truck, you have your you have your Jeep, you have the piece of neck on the top. I'm not changing lanes here anymore. Once there was a guy with two trailers, two 53-foot trailers, and there was a short ramp like this, but he was also going slow. So I changed lanes, and guess what? Instead of letting me change back in front of him and kind of like thanking me, you know, maybe with his flashlights, you know, hey, cool, thank you for, you know, letting me in. This guy starts picking up speed like crazy because there was a downhill like this. And so now I have to wait for him for all his freaking 253-foot trailers to pass me to go back. And of course, by that time, there's like 50 cars behind him. And I don't want, you know, my cruise control is set at 56 miles per hour, right? I just did the guy a favor. He basically shows me a finger in the form of a passing me like this. So I got stuck in the left lane for probably, I don't know, 5 minutes. And I said, that's it. It's not my responsibility to change lanes. It's just, you know, kind of like a goodwill. But I'm pretty sure lots of people don't know this, but these guys have to yield to the main traffic, right? But of course, nobody does it. But the more times, I always say, the more times you change your lane, the higher is the risk of a collision. Right? So unless I see that this guy is doing something stupid, the guy who tries to jump in, like maybe he's accelerating too fast, you know, aggressively, and I know that he'll be right here, then of course, you know, I have to avoid a collision. But if he's going slow, there's lots of room, I'll just stay in my lane. It's safer. Because here, look at these people. Like, they're all flying like at least 75 miles an hour. Like, look at this guy. How many axles is this? 3 and 3, 6 and 4, 10. Wow, that's 10 axles. So that's, I'm guessing, like 200,000 pounds gross. Maybe a bit less. Alright, 2.6 clicks to exit 54 Speedway Boulevard. I love these trucks though, but I don't want to back in. And they only have a few spots where you can, for oversized guys, where you can just drive in. And you can, it's only, I think it can hold, I think, like 2 trucks. And there's a line in there. If you're outside of that line, like if you try to park, you know, like truck number 3 or truck number 4, a security guard shows up. You cannot park here. What the heck, who are you? I'm security. Right, well, so why are you harassing me? Talk to the first guy. If he leaves, I'll move into his place. But yeah, last time he kicked me out. Oh, you can go around the corner, you know, over there there's a wide shoulder, there's no sides, you know, we see oversized loads over there all the time. So that's when I had that big drill rig for Alberta. So he kicked me out, I had to leave the truck stop, go around the corner. I think it's this one. It's not too late until it is. It's not too late until it is. Get the vaccine. Yes, Miss Google. I'll be with you in a second. The guy in the front in the Ranger, Ford Ranger, has a sign on his back window, some kind of a jiu-jitsu gym. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, what's the chance of somebody willing to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Look at this guy in Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, why are you stopping? You should have just, you know, who cares about the stop signs, right? This is new. Speedy Mart. Unfortunately, they don't have any spots for trucks. Speed limit. Have you ever seen a speed limit like this? Oh, and I got a buddy in here who helped me out with that. First time I tried to use that Stinger is a 2+2, right? It wouldn't work, and so I had to change from 3+1 to 2+2. And of course, to do that, you need a forklift. Oh, look at this guy. He has a tandem, but each tandem has 8 tires. I like that. Oh, and we are back in the construction season. That's nice. Price, diesel, 3.97, 9/10. So $4. I filled up this morning 133 gallons at $3.64. Question: how much money did I save? Well, roughly 40 cents. All right, so here we gotta do a little trick here.
150 meters, turn right.
You see, I cannot back like that. I have to.
Take the next right, then turn right.
See, like these guys over here on my left. I think I can park there, but we'll see. You see, because over here maybe there's a spot. I need a dual spot. Maybe we'll go here. Because yeah, I don't like that. There's 2 guys there. Okay, where's my Stinger? Is it following me? Because it's bad if it doesn't follow me. Yeah, you see here? Unfortunately. Look at that 5-ton truck. What are you doing at the big guy's truck stop? Oh, I think this one is pulled through. No, somebody there. But it's a pretty big truck stop, so we're gonna find something sooner or later. Petro stopping center. When you leave, take your truck with you. No, I'm kidding. These guys don't have signs like that. Because they know this is Las Vegas. Nobody's gonna read a sign in English, so you have to write it in Spanish. This is for cripples. It's the cripples space. You cannot park there. And I thought, like, time now is, local time is 23 minutes after 12. 12:23. My time is 3:23. So I thought, hey, this is noon, right? I should be able to find parking. Like, look at this guy. 3-axle with a flip box. And I don't know why, but these guys, they often remove the brand of the trailer. Did you notice that? Like, they just scratch off the brand of the trailer and they write their company name. Like, I would scratch off, let's say, Fontaine, and say, you know, Sergei Dratchev heavy haul. And last time I parked here, no, that's a spot. So I might, that's what I might have to do, you know. I might have to, what I can do is, I can I can fix my Stinger. I see, like this guy over here, there used to be a sign where they allowed let's go talk to this guy. To the guy, because I remember there was markings here. There used to be markings on the ground, but now there's no markings. But over here where I'm parked, you see there's a red line on the shoulder, so you cannot park there. But I talked to this guy and I said, is it okay to park here? He says, I have 7 minutes left. So he's leaving in 7 minutes, and there's some cool fighter jets are flying around. So I might take my 300mm lens, see if I can do some footage here, because they were doing the you know, like afterburner thing, very loud. Like there were 4 or 5 of these. They just went like this, and I see one guy over there doing a U-turn. They probably kicked him out. They told him no parking over here at this echelon. Anyway, I'm just waiting for this guy to leave, and then I'm gonna pull forward as much as possible. And I know last time what that guy complained, the security guy complained, you cannot have the front of your truck sticking where there with those pickup trucks and cars parked, because he's, well, they're gonna hit you. Like, why are you concerned about that? Who's gonna hit you? But yeah, here definitely you cannot park. Yeah, so but if this guy moves, I should be okay. And that's that crazy scale that I really don't like. It's okay coming from here, but getting out when you have a Jeep and Stinger, it's very tight in there. So each time I have to go on the grass over the shoulder and, you know, leave black marks on my tires. I don't like this one. But there's a shop right there. There's a shop here. So after this guy leaves, I'm gonna take his spot and go talk to the shop if I can book the appointment, maybe for the morning, because quite often they don't want to book appointments. Oh, it's first come first served. And the guy who helped me last time, it was not this building. Well, it was this building, but next door. Basically, you know, I was desperate. I needed a forklift to change 3+1, I mean 2+2 back to 3+1, because I didn't have shims, right? And I was not aware that I needed shims for 2+2 to work. Nobody told me this when they gave me the Stinger. But we're not gonna call names, but yeah, one of those guys over there, they do something here, and he has a forklift. and he was able to do that. Oh, check this out. So I can go, I just want to make sure my axle is not sticking out. Let's see. Oh, perfect. So I'm way past the red line. And I'm not blocking these guys. That's it. I know they're not gonna harass me over here. This is good. And then in the morning, you see over there, it says absolutely no parking in over there because people come in there. But here, this is kind of like a gray area, you know. Like these are the tricks, right? When you have a big trailer like this, you just learn the tricks and you learn the spots where you go, like truck stops like this, where you can places where you can just pull in without backing, because it's very annoying trying to back with a. Oh, there you go. Wow, these guys are pretty cool. If I get some footage of these cool fighter jets, I'll add it at the end of the video.